Welcome to Policy on Demand's Week in Review. I'm Dave Camp. Congress returned this week from a long recess and is scheduled to be in session for 2 more weeks. The House of Representatives has been focused this week on funding the government. Again, we're seeing the difficulty Republicans are having reaching consensus in their narrow majority. Discussion's been over the duration of a continuing resolution and whether additional measures, such as the SAVE Act, which requires proof of citizenship before registering to vote in federal elections, and other measures are part of the House legislation. As we've seen before, in terms of resolving government funding, the House majority is not on the same page as either party in the United States Senate, and at the time of this filming, a resolution on government funding is still fluid. However, most House and Senate members want to avoid a government shutdown, so watch for some bipartisan compromise on temporary government funding. The Ways and Means Committee held a markup on several pieces of legislation this week. One measure would restore the $20,000 and 200 transaction thresholds for 1099-K returns. There is a bipartisan bill in the Senate that would set the 1099 threshold at $10,000 and could be a possible compromise bill going forward. Also, legislation passed the Ways and Means Committee that would eliminate penalties for hostages missing tax filing deadlines while in captivity, and another bill passed that would expand 529 accounts to cover technical educational training. The Senate Finance Committee held a hearing this week titled The 2025 Tax Policy Debate and Tax Avoidance Strategies. A report by the Nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation, prepared for the hearing, found that high earners paid a federal tax rate of 34%. That's a higher rate than cited by some policymakers. The CPI, Consumer Price Index, slowed in August, while the core inflation report, which excludes food and energy, increased. The inflation reports, combined with last Friday's jobs report, which showed job growth cooling, are among the factors that will be considered at the Federal Reserve meeting next week. This week, the Treasury and IRS released proposed regulations on the corporate alternative minimum tax. The presidential debate this week did not have a lot of discussion on tax policy, despite the expiration of many provisions in the TCJA next year. Although a detailed consideration of tax policy was not likely to occur in a debate format. However, Vice President Harris criticized President Trump for his tariff proposals as a Trump sales tax, and former President Trump renewed his plans for cutting taxes, but did not mention his recent plan for a 15% corporate tax rate for products made in the United States.